Now the same fear is with AI, as though it's going to take away everybody's intelligence and the job. Definitely AI challenges you to be more creative, to be more original, and to think more.
Technology, AI, is very powerful in terms of its impact on human emotions and its ability to act as if it's ethical, has good values and empathetic, but for us to collectively steer the technology to actually bring good to people, but there's also work to be done still.
It's incredible to have both of you with us today. We gather here in the spirit of the art of living to explore how humanity can move forward in harmony, integrating deep inner peace with external technological progress. Gurudev, your teachings have always emphasized inner peace, human values, and interconnectedness. How can these ancient wisdom traditions guide us in integrating advanced technologies like AI into society so that they support rather than diminish our humanity?
See, the purpose of technology is to bring comfort to human existence, human life. Makes it easy for you, more comfortable for you, and bring out the creativity within you. Now, for creativity, you need inner peace. Someone who is very disturbed can't be very creative. If you're asked to write an essay, you say, I need some time alone in my corner. So you go to a corner when there is no noise, no disturbance, then you're able to write a thesis. Any invention needs a quiet space. And not just outer quiet space, it also needs inner quiet space. If you are burdened with too much worries, I don't think you will be able to think better or deliver anything meaningful. So inner peace, I feel, is that which brings inner comfort. In this sense, technology and meditation, they go hand in hand. See, we know from the past history, whether it's Archimedes or Newton, only when they relaxed, they got the idea. Something happened in their brain, and it clicked. So for you to come up with that click, you need a certain calmness. Yeah. And that's what meditation does, and all this technique. This is also techniques.
Andrew, you are an extraordinary leader in the forefront of shaping artificial intelligence. From your view, what is the most pressing question about AI facing humanity today?
Over the last few years, AI technologies advanced rapidly that people that master it are much more powerful and will be much more powerful than people that don't. In the professional sphere, I see that people have all job roles, not just software engineers, but analysts, data scientists, HR professionals, marketing professionals, people that know AI can get a computer to do what they want and just deliver much better results in their professional and also personal lives. I think one of the biggest challenges that we face now is how do we empower everyone to build with AI, because it is creating tremendous productivity, tremendous wealth, but unless someone masters this technology, they risk being replaced, not by AI, but by someone else that uses AI. And I find that as technology improves, everything from the invention of the washing machine, which saved people a lot of time, to prepare foods, to modern communications, to computers, to now AI advancements, there's an opportunity to create more space for people to think, to medicate, and use their time wisely. There's also maybe a dark side of distraction, and some of the technology leads to problems as well. But as people become more powerful, as we can free up more work that we may not want to do ourselves, to have AI do it for us, I think this creates more space, more time for us to hopefully use wisely. And I do appreciate just some things, even though technology changes, there's some things about human nature that are timeless, which is why I think sometimes drawing on ancient wisdom, because there's certain natures of humanity, our desire for achievement, our desire to help others, our desire, I hope, for peace, are timeless. It's like drawing on those to figure out how to navigate the AI era.
do you think that AI, technology, dating apps, any of this can truly embody qualities, human qualities like empathy, intuition, or are these the unique human differences that we will always have?
Maybe I'll answer this from a dry scientific point of view before taking a more humanistic answer. So it turns out that there are grand questions like consciousness, sentience, and empathy that are important, I want to say philosophical questions rather than scientific questions, because as far as I know, there is no test for consciousness. In fact, philosophers are not even sure if other people are conscious. I may not be conscious, but maybe it's polite for you all to pretend I am, and I think I'm conscious, but you don't know if anyone else is actually conscious. So because there's no scientific test for consciousness or sentience or even empathy, how do I know if someone is really empathetic or they're just acting like they're empathetic? I think these are not scientific questions, but rather really important philosophical questions. That's a dry scientist answer. On the flip side of it, computers can certainly act as if they have empathy. If I put on a philosopher's hat, I'm not a good philosopher. I don't think computers are conscious, but that's a personal view, not a scientific view. But we can certainly get them to act as if they have empathy, and this could be used both for good, to give people comfort, or for evil. I think there's a lot of potential for digital manipulation that worries me as well. So technology, AI, is very powerful in terms of its impact on human emotions and its ability to act as if it's ethical, has good values, and empathetic, but for us to collectively steer the technology to actually bring good to people, that I'm confident we'll get there, but there's also work to be done still.
Technology, I feel that what you feed in, that's what it will reflect. You feed in empathy and compassion, it's going to reflect back to you. But now, apart from this, there is an intuitive ability in human beings that the real consciousness can exhibit. For that, there is a whole science of consciousness. And today, luckily, the scientists are acknowledging that there is consciousness in everything. Even a stone has a consciousness, even every object has consciousness. So consciousness is not just limited to human existence, but the entire universe is just floating in an ocean of consciousness. To say that, that conscious energy. This is so interesting that science is recognizing the old principle that everything is consciousness. That's very interesting in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, I feel I'm just a scientist and engineer. I'm very happy to follow the philosopher's lead on this one.
Yeah, have you read about that? Recently, scientists have said the chair and every object has consciousness. Yeah. This is a physicist who have come up with this.
Yeah, I didn't know that one, but I have no problem, following a philosopher's view on that.
Philosophy, yeah.
A MIT Media Lab study made headlines recently. It found that students who used ChatGPT to help write essays had much lower cognitive engagement. Their brain activity was weaker compared to students writing without AI. Some worry this means AI could make us lazy or even dumber.
When I was in school, first time we got calculators in India. When the calculators came, all our mathematics teachers were very upset. They said, the next people or students will not be able to memorize the multiplication table and all that. They're going to be very dumb. Everything is going to be very dull. But that didn't happen. Calculator made things much easier. And then came the computers. Again, there was this old school of people who thought this technology is going to really hamper human evolution and human potential. That didn't happen. Now the same fear is with AI, as though it's going to take away everybody's intelligence and the job. I don't think so. Definitely AI challenges you to be more creative, to be more original, and to think more. Of course, with one clause I would say, too much use of anything is no good. Your vitamins are good for you, and if you keep consuming too many of them, and then that's going to harm you. Similarly, ChatGPT and all this you are using, it's okay to use it. It saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of effort. Anything overdone is not good. Gadgets are good, but if you are stuck to your phone all the time, it's going to definitely harm you. You need to balance it out. That's what do you say, Andrew?
No, I'm with you. I think of a lot of the skills people do as maybe two categories when technology advances. One is the skills that are just completely obsolete and we don't need anyone to do those things anymore. And then there are skills that computers can help with but are not obsolete and we want people to learn it still. So for example, because of modern technology, I could barely remember how to use a Dewey Decimal System to look up a library book in an index card or something. So I think that skill, pretty much obsolete, is fine if children do not learn to look up books, the way that we had with index cards before modern computers. But there are other skills like addition, thinking clearly, writing, that computers can help with, that we still want to train up the human brain too. And maybe, I think also as an analogy of when we got cars, you could drive everywhere and ride a bicycle or whatever, and it opened the door to making people less fit. But I want my car to be able to go places. I don't really want to walk everywhere with my feet, even though if I drive and don't ever work out, I will be less fit. So I think it would be like that too. If we have these tools to help our minds, it's fantastic. I think we should embrace them. Parents should teach the kids how to embrace and use responsibly, but not to the detriment of also training up our minds to do the things that we still wanted to do, because the skill set of thinking, that's not obsolete. We got to get good at that, even though AI can also help some of the time. One of the biggest challenges I see is how can we empower everyone to build with AI? Because people that know that skill in the future will be much more powerful than people that don't. We'd love to get your views on that.
I think it's good to introduce this in the primary and the high school education itself. See, like the computer, a generation 10 years back, they didn't know how to use computers. Even officials in all the Asian countries and African countries, they didn't know how to use computers. You see, they all have to do it by manual. But today, slowly people have picked up. And it's good to give short-term courses, so 3 months diploma courses, 2 months diploma courses, for open it to general public. So even though graduates and people of various levels of education and society, that they can, take these crash courses and they know how to use it, number one. This is for people who are already in jobs. And for students, I would say it's good to introduce in the high school level. So that, by that time, their mental development is also good, fine, and then so they can integrate in their life and move on. These are the two things I can think of.
What do you think is the biggest hope and your most significant concern regarding the coexistence of advanced AI and human civilization?
So here's something that I hope will happen, which is, it turns out today intelligence is one of the most expensive things in the world. It costs a lot to train a wise human being, and then on the flip side, it's very expensive to hire a skilled doctor to advise you on medical condition, or it's expensive to send your kids to college or find a skilled tutor to mentor your children in a patient way. I think human intelligence, it just costs a lot to train a wise human, and that is difficult to bring down. But with artificial intelligence, we have the potential to make intelligence cheap. So today, there are a lot of services that are available only to the wealthy. They can hire an army of smart, well-informed staff to advise them. But with AI, I hope that we can democratize this access. So in the future, anyone can hire an army of smart, well-informed staff to help them be more powerful and do a lot more in a way that today only the wealthiest of society can. And if we can do that, then I think everyone in society will be much richer for it.
And artificial intelligence can be used to promote the human values and peace education. Today, every nation talks about peace and security, and they spend a lot on the defense and security and nothing about peace. But it's said in one breath, peace and security. Here, I would say peace education, educating an individual about their own mind. Zero psychology is taught. Zero knowledge about their social behavior is taught in schools and colleges. A little bit education on the peace through using AI would really make a difference in the world. It will make people connect with everybody. You know, because a person grows up thinking, I belong to only this particular family or this race or this religion or this community, and so they get closed from other. So when there is other, there is always a threat perception from them. You feel the other is a threat to you. And what you see, that has happened. Just the threat perception in the minds of few leaders has caused this tremendous pressure on the world, on economy and in the war and destruction. So the fanaticism and the religious dogmas, fundamentalism, these all have to be done away with. They need a comprehensive knowledge or study about human life and peace. Technology is needed, but you also need real-time human interaction, being with people, you know, socializing, not just on the social media, but real time. So I would say you need to balance life with the technology and real interaction with people. The purpose of any philosophy is to make life happier and more joyful and get connected to everybody or the whole universe. This universal consciousness or broad mindset, a mindset which is free from prejudice and dogmas, had to be developed. And I think AI would be an excellent tool to bring this wisdom to people, to make them understand they are part of humanity. They are part of one energy field in the world.